So, since I moved and started working, something that I've definitely been thinking about a lot is the fact that I haven't been really writing as much as I would like to. There have been a lot of different moving parts and adjustments in my life, and I've been trying to get into a routine. And I think while I've constantly been thinking about the fact that writing has not been a consistent part of that routine. And I'm trying to be very intentional about implementing it. And so this week, I journaled for every day of the week, and I don't have a really set structure for what that looks like. Um, I didn't really want to come at this with like a I'm gonna write for X amount of time every single day, and by the end of a month, I'm gonna have a story or something like that. Like that's not how I wanted to approach this. I wanted to be a lot more free and just let ideas come to me as they do. And that kind of happened this week, but it was in a little bit of a different way than I thought. I was sitting at work on Monday and I had an idea for a poem. And so I just wrote down a couple lines, or not even really lines, just a thought in my notes app so that I could come back to it later. And I revisited it once I got home and have been kind of working on it through through the week and ended up with a poem that I think I like. I'm not honestly totally sure, but I thought I would just take some time to read it out loud to you guys and see if I like the way it sounded. So, yeah. So, first, I actually want to take a second to show off my notebook here. It's a black moleskin, and there's a couple little personalization aspects to it. We've got my initials embossed in the front in gold, and then when you open up the cover right here, you'll see a little printed sketch of myself. This was a gift I received, and it's really nice. But now we actually get into the writing I did here. I kind of just did some word dumping on my first day, and then actually got into drafting the poem on Tuesday, and kind of went from there. As you can see, something that I really like to do was write out the full version of a poem and then go back in with blue ink to sort of leave comments and feedback. And here ended up being the final copy that I will be reading for you. Okay, so this poem is titled A Sculptor and Her Statue. This is a title I've gone back and forth on. I'm honestly not 100% sold on it still, but that's what we're working with. The sculptor spends her days carving her son from stone, revealing his form in her image. But what becomes of him when she lays her tools to rest? Must he continue to gaze at the skies which pour drops down his chiseled form with a straight back and puffed chest? Must he maintain poise as gulls leave their droppings atop his curled hair and broad shoulders? The sculptor winces at the thought of his desire to spit back at the showers. She squirms at the image of his heavy hands wrapping around the necks of birds, plucking the feathers from their wings. But all the tears she sheds cannot compare to the streams running down the sun's feet, which remain planted firmly on their perth. So thank you guys for listening to me read that. I don't know really how depth I want to get into discussing the poem or the reasons it came to my mind. Honestly, I don't even fully know, but I think on a very surface level analysis, the thought that has been kind of going back and forth in my mind, or I guess a theme that has been in my head a lot recently, is that of expectations and what are we supposed to do with the lessons and the tools that are left behind by teachers, mentors, parents, older siblings, whoever, and what do we owe people for imparting their wisdom and their advice onto us? Are we supposed to use that as a tool to then shape our own lives and futures? Are we supposed to let the influence and the impact of what they've said on us weigh heavily on our shoulders for the rest of our lives? I think obviously you would probably say no, but in reality, relationships can be hard to manage sometimes, and that maybe the influence that some people have on you becomes stronger than maybe it should be. And I just kind of was thinking a lot about that recently, both in the work and personal aspects, and so it kind of just was something I wanted to explore. in the form of a poem. I'm not typically a poetry writer. Well, I've written poetry before, and I do enjoy writing poetry, but I think I would at least label myself or consider myself more of a prose writer than a poet. But it's fun, I think, to explore different forms and to use them as sort of a way to spark creativity and spark ideas. And that's definitely something that happened to me and is hopefully going to spur my writing, maybe as more poetry, maybe as something longer in the future. But thank you guys. I know this was something a little different, but I really enjoyed reading my poem. I really enjoyed writing this week and, taking more intentionality with my work. And, if you enjoy this, maybe I'll continue to share moving forward. Bye.